Okay, so I want to start this video off by first of all saying I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Y'all, it's been I don't know how long since my last video. Honestly, I low-key got the content creator program and I low-key hit like this, I don't know, lazy state where I said forget all of this. Now, some of it was because around the time of my previous video, it had been like a week since I recorded, and clearly I know it had been a week. And it was around the time where it was like, okay, maybe I could just wait for Cobra Kai season 2. But as you guys know, Cobra Kai part 2 came out probably 2 weeks ago at this point of this video's recording. It's probably been out for like 2 weeks at this point. And the fun fact of that is I actually watched the entirety of it on the first day it came out. I watched the whole thing the first day. And honestly, it was peak fiction, like very peak fiction. But we're not here today to discuss how peak that season was. If you guys want to see a character review or whatever, I'll do that. But yeah, honestly, I don't know. I just kind of hit a lazy phase. And I just kind of did not feel like recording. I know that sounds kind of lame to say, being a YouTuber or whatever, just hitting my content program. But nonetheless, I will say this though. Today's video, let's just talk about it. Miguel versus Kwon. And I gotta tell you guys, I got another video coming out where I just discuss like why Kwon is low-key kind of trash, but we just gonna ignore all of that right now and talk about like scaling and all that good stuff. So you guys do enjoy the video, please sure leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you as always. If you come back to the channel after I've been gone for oh my god, I've been gone for a minute, bro. But anyways, let's get into it now. So my first thing I gotta tell you right off the bat with Kwon and Miguel scaling is we have to look at the entire season part to pretty much get a good idea of what we're talking about. Now, in previous videos, I've stated if you take Kim's statement of saying like her students are better than like the American students or whatever to heart for real, which in further thought, it would make some sense simply because of like, you know, Kim was there, but she's not currently there, and so she wouldn't know the evolved versions of Tori's and all that type of stuff. But we at least know that Yoon Do Jin, at best, if you take this statement to heart, would be above season 5 Tori just because she states this and actually was there to perceive season 5 Tori. Now, in reality, this does not mean anything because if you want to move one step forward for me, I will then go on to tell you that Yoon got cooked by Kwon. Basically, this would upscale him from all season 5 characters because, well, Kwon was destroying Yoon, and thus he must be stronger than them by a long shot, pretty much also going 1-on-3. And so if you want to take that, we at least know Kwon is stronger than all of them at base. But when it comes to fighting season 6 level opponents, yeah, it's kind of weird. So in my personal opinion, Kwon kind of sucks. And not sucks, but you guys would have to hear like a tier list video from me or something to really get my true opinions on it. But I just want to say that Kwon, like, low-key, in every match with somebody of relevance, he's kind of lame, though. Like, if we want to just focus on, like, you know, like, him fighting against Miguel specifically. Now, a couple of you guys might hit me with the, wait a minute, but don't you remember in the tournament when Miguel got his points scored on him? And he got scored on him by Kwon, and then Kwon did that? Well, you see, tournaments and like scoring points aren't always the most accurate thing to go on based off in Cobra Kai. So I'm going to be ignoring that for right now, simply to just tell you a different much scaling. So I'm pretty sure, as you guys probably don't need to, I'll make another video about this in the future if it wasn't very clear based off the season. But I think it's fair to say that Axel, or pretty much the Iron Dragons in general, are just ultimately just over like the rest of the cast. Now, I'll discuss in different videos how that changes, primarily going over like the rest of the seasons, right? Or not seasons, but like going primarily over like the rest of the like part 2, like is that still consistent by the end of it or whatever, although that really shouldn't change that much. But the Iron Dragons are kind of like at the top, as I'm pretty sure most of y'all can probably agree on. You guys can agree that the Iron Dragons are at the top for most of it. This would imply Axel is probably the best fighter in the entire season. So if you want to go that far, it wouldn't really be that much of a stretch. Now, what makes Axel so good is he's really good at defense and offense, but this isn't really like a character review, but he's got really good defense and offense. And in his fight with Robbie is clearly below Axel at this current time period, and I don't think it's particularly close. Now, we see Miguel be able to somewhat handle himself against this Axel, and I want to require, like, yeah, neither Miguel or Robbie are what I would say relative to Axel, but they can at least defend his attacks better than what Kwon was doing. As when we see Axel interact with, like, Kwon, well, it seems like he's just doing them much worse. Now, I don't want to, like, like clearly forget the part where Axel will be trying harder against Miguel because of Sam, and like how he low-key had a crush on her and like he was kind of gunning for her the whole time, whatever, you know what I mean? Gunning for him. So like I will say this, if you take that into consideration, I don't think it needs to be too lopsided here. I just kind of think we can consistently say that Miguel would have been fighting a much, I don't know, I hate you version of Miguel, you know, Axel. So with that being said, we see that Robbie struggles. Robbie is better than Miguel, in my personal opinion, this season. Now, I know a lot of y'all are going to be like, no, but I'll get to that too in another video. But what I will say about that is we see that Robbie, who is locked in, can pretty much beat any of the opponents that give Miguel any trouble whatsoever. A locked in Robbie does perform slightly better than a Miguel, but Miguel does perform really good. If anything, I would say the performance against Axel is pretty relative, and clearly we don't see them like fight each other, so we wouldn't really have a clear gauge on that. But if you think Robbie and Miguel are in the same tier in terms of relativism to Axel, then they would automatically be over Kwon, just because Kwon kind of gets fodderized by Axel. And even when Kwon literally has a knife, it has an advantage. This dude Axel is able to read his move, stop his kick, and well, we know what happens after that. But this man had a weapon and still couldn't like do anything against like Axel, and he was, like I once again said, getting fodderized. Whereas Robbie and Miguel can at least stop or take attacks from him, so on and so forth. And yes, I do know about the point, I'm aware, and we do see them swap hands for a little bit, but it just seems to me that Miguel would be over like Kwon. And like I said, we literally also see like Robbie beat Kwon in a one-on-one level fight, right? So if you think they're relatively equal to Axel, this would imply that maybe a focused Robbie should be relative to a should be relative to that version of Miguel, or Miguel should be relative to that version of Robbie in some degree, which would automatically put him over Kwon, as we literally see Robbie beat that Kwon. So yeah, that's pretty much my take on it. And so I would say without a doubt that Miguel would win, but it would be an extreme diff. Yeah, that's pretty much my take on it. So if you like the scaling that I used or presented, then please be sure to tell me in the comment section below. If you don't agree with it, tell me in the comment section below as well. And tell me how much you liked Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 2, because I thought it was fire. And yes, I'm going to start cranking the videos back out for y'all again. So just know, this is not going to be like a one and then I'm gone for like 3 weeks again or some type like that. I hope this video comes out today at some point. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. Thanks for everything. Thanks for all the previous support on all the videos. And I'll catch y'all next time. I can never say enough, never say enough. Thank you. And I'm out. Deuces.